The Ghosts of Harridan Hall. Written and narrated by David Pickering. Down in the deepest dark, full far from hallowed ground, lies a forgotten park that few dare roam around. Though the gates are rusted and are no longer sound, yet tonight 2 innocents have an entrance found.
There's no one about. We'll have the old place to ourselves. Someone might see us. No one's lived here for generations. I've got a bad feeling about this. Don't you want to see a ghost? Well, yes. We can't go back and say we flunked it. Perhaps we could come back another night. We're here now, and let's see what there is. It's dark. Is the torch on your phone still not working?
No, it's just like yours. No power. Spooky.
Don't be such a wuss. There's plenty of moonlight.
They walk the winding drive by the dark undaunted. Their grit as ghost hunters is quite rightly vaunted. But even by their friends they have late been taunted for never checking out if this place is haunted.
What was that?
Just lightning. Must be a summer storm on the way.
But there aren't any clouds. Oh!
The lad, he leads the way, bold in his long dark coat. The lass, she comes after, eyes wide and lump in throat. Of their boundless courage always let it be wrote, that by lightning lions are hardly ever smote.
Wow! Harridan Hall. Talk about spooky. It looks half ruined.
So would you if you'd been deserted for 100 years. Come on. What looks so eerie now seemed harmless from afar. The house becomes a skull. The drive itself a scar, so utterly cheerless by light of moon and star. But there is no one here, and see, the door's ajar.
It's open. Let's go in. Do you think we should? I'm scared. There's nothing to be afraid of. Just stick close to me.
Nothing stirs, so it seems, as now they venture in. Life here has no purchase, no sound, no joy, no sin. It is only their breath that makes an echo thin. All is as cold as death, so still, no warmth within.
See? It's empty. You were going to tell me the story about this place. It belonged to an old woman, the last of an ancient family. She was an evil old crone and fell out with all her neighbours who stopped coming here. Then, out of the blue, they were all invited to a grand ball. They agreed to give her one last chance. The ballroom must be upstairs. Perhaps it's through here.
Upon the crumbling stairs they place their stealthy tread, both their hearts in their mouths and their minds full of dread. What fate might await them where their footsteps have led? It might have been better if they'd kept to their bed.
This must be it. Awesome.
Though time has done its work and wrought too much of change, all is as once it was, yet sadly rearranged, as though a madman's come, seeking to derange, to turn what had been sweet to something dead and strange.
What happened at the ball? Everything was just as the old lady had promised. She had hired a band and servants in livery and so on, though there was no sign of the hostess herself. The guests presumed she would make a grand entrance later. After a couple of hours of dancing, they found food and drink set out for them in the library. That must be through there.
The books are now mildewed, their pages damp and torn. Not one's been read for years before these 2 were born. True to the very end, they stand in rank forlorn, none to lament their loss, nary a soul to mourn. The guests helped themselves and agreed they must have been wrong about the old lady, but there was poison in the food and drink. Long before dawn, everyone was dead, even the musicians and the servants she had hired. But that's awful. No one knows what became of the old lady. The bodies were taken away, then the gates were locked, and hardly anyone has been here since. But they do say that on the anniversary each year, the revellers return to relive the whole thing. And guess what? What? This is that very night. What was that? It sounded like music. They stand like two statues in profoundest of sleep, and share in a silence as of oceans too deep. To be true to their quest they have resolved to keep, and towards the next room they unwillingly creep. It came from through there. It looks like a music room or something. It must have been that piano we heard, but it can't have been. The strings are all long broken. Then what? Wait, listen. Is that something outside? Right briskly to ballroom they now hasten their way, remembering the legends of which they've heard say. Surely they are moonstruck, or their eyes do betray horses and carriages just as clear as the day. Oh no, alarm, alarm, hear how their heartbeats race. The carriages come on at so stately a pace. What is their business at so lonely a place? And how is it their wheels leave but nary a trace? This can't be happening. They're stopping at the door. There are people getting out.
Everything looks well set. I shall leave my shawl in the carriage.
What do we do? What do we do? Quick, behind that sofa. Our heroes hastily some concealment seek, their eyes sealed securely as the stairs start to creak. Who or what are these souls, be they vengeful or meek? Bravely holding their breath, see our two risk a peek. Look, everything's changed, everything. It's not old anymore. I don't understand how... Get down. Oh, the walls around them are all newly painted, as if with dust and age wholly unacquainted. See now fully restored the formerly tainted, and such lords and ladies freshly soaped and dainted. Good evening, Clara. You look lovely tonight. Good evening, Gerald, everyone. Heavens, I haven't been in here since I was a girl. Well, the old lady hardly makes visitors welcome as a rule. She's doing us proud tonight, though, I'll say. Where is she? Has anyone seen the old she-devil? Tosh, sir, she may hear you. I wouldn't care to offend such a formidable dame. This can't be real. It just can't be. Shh! Don't let them hear us, for heaven's sake. Ah, music! Ladies and gentlemen, take your partners. Will you dance, my dear, or are you already taken? A pleasure, to be sure. You may take my hand. Do you have a partner for this dance, or may I have the honour? Do be careful not to tread upon my dance slippers. They're new. The band is now ready. The guests take their places. The men in their frock coats with rosy red faces. The ladies so lovely, all ribbons and laces. Oh, such masculine might and such girlish graces. The dancing commences with bowing and blushes. They focus their senses on turns and quick rushes. An attractive young thing just titters and flushes as a tiny soft hand her bow lightly brushes. This is all quite perfect, isn't it? You're right. Perhaps we were too quick to judge the old witch. Then dance follows dance in a dizzying whirl. First this one with that one, then that one with the girl. Their elders remark upon each curtsy and twirl, sorting chaff from the wheat and the stone from the pearl. It's so lovely to see the young ones having such fun. I dare say there'll be a match or two made tonight.
Is that a military person dancing with my daughter?
A lieutenant in the militia, I believe.
Not a gentleman, then. I shall speak to her.
This gathering so rare from a long ago day has our witnesses stare, quite enwrapped in its sway. It seems that forever the musicians will play, as all gyre and gambol the night brightly away.
We can't stay here all night. I'm getting cramp. Don't let them see us. Anything could happen if they find out we're here.
Do you think the old lady will have remained true to her promise of refreshment?
I'm told there is a splendid supper laid out in the library.
What an evening of surprises this is turning out to be.
Let us all repair to the library without further delay.
Come along, everyone.
The poison! They're all going to be poisoned! Stay still, we can't help them, but we've got to do something. We've got to stop them. You can't. No! Wait! Don't go in there!
He's tried to prevent her, but it's far, far too late. The world itself lurches at this cruel stroke of fate. In a flash, all are gone. Gone both lowly and great. Gone guests and musicians. Gone the pomp and state. The pair stand bewildered, quite alone in the room, the lights all extinguished by an ominous gloom. Instead of loud laughter comes a feeling of doom. The house now surrounds them like an opening tomb. It's then that they hear it, a brittle, distant wail, something like mirror glass being etched with a nail. The explorers shrink back, faces suddenly pale. Something is a-coming, and their senses now quail.
What's that sound? Where's it coming from?
I don't know. Soaring like a raven from the last depth of hell, behold the thingless she of whom the legends tell, shrieking and a-cursing, all bloody, black and fell. Her voice blasts the shadows, brash as a brazen bell.
You trespass in my house, I see you come to spy. You ought to know better than here to poke and pry. No one else is present to hear your wretched lie. None to hear or help you. Your time has come to die.
Now to rush from cover, go bolting for the door. The hag comes after them, stretching a withered claw. Down the stairs, through the hall, on unlit lower floor, till they are jettisoned from the dread mansion's moor.
Come on, let's get out of here. Wait for me.
You cannot escape. There is no escaping me.
Faster! There are the gates up ahead. We'll be safe on the other side. Don't stop. Keep going.
You won't catch us, you old bat.
She's just an old woman. For that a great amen. Surely now they'll make it. She won't catch them again. Get to the iron gates, back to the world, and then they'll have a tale to tell when...
What's that noise? Behind us! No!
If and when it happens, laying in a sleepless bed, you consider action a venturing instead, recall our two heroes, now lifeless, crushed and dead. Be wise and bear in mind advice that here was said. Don't be over hasty, a reckless bet to win, with loud a boastful cry and wide a foolish grin. An open door may hide a frightful hell therein. Pose to take a selfie, but please, please don't go in.